The first time I volunteered in the elementary school here was with one of my stepson's class, and it was kindergarten. And the teacher picked up the pointer stick, and I'm like, hit the dirt, because to me, a pointer stick is a weapon.
Welcome back to Branches Between Generations, the video podcast where we connect students from the digital age with seniors from Canada's retirement capital. I'm your host, Clinton Nellist. Episode 3 is about education and careers, because an education gets you a career, or so I'm told. Some people figured out their careers at the age of 6, while other people have taken a little bit longer to find their path in life. We're going to take a listen to hear about the experiences of our seniors when they were back in school and contrast that with the experience of students today.
Welcome back to Podio Studio. Today, we're taking it old school. Our first interview is between Robyn and Arianna.
My name is Robyn. When was I born? 1956.
My full name is Arianna Marie Beuerman. I was born in 2012.
They are going to be discussing the differences between the old school and new school teaching methods and what it means to have respect regardless of age.
What I said to my daughter when she graduated is, you just get into your canoe and you float down the river and something will come by that you feel like, well, this is what I want. So what courses do you like at school?
We don't get very much of an option to choose our courses because I was in elementary school and I haven't been to high school yet.
Yeah.
It's my first year. But in elementary school, there wasn't very many options. They did have like little camps, but it'd be like Lego club or like different like book club or something. But most of them were directed towards like grade 3s or grade 4s, like the little kids. So there wasn't many for us older kids. But me and my friends definitely found like joy in hanging out, you know, just playing like soccer on the field or something, or just hanging out, you know. There wasn't many choices.
So do you enjoy writing and reading and all that, or?
Yes, I love both, actually. I was gonna say reading, but now I'm thinking of it. I really like writing as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, writing gives me a way to like express myself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, write what I'm thinking. Just like with the story I was writing, didn't really have to think about it. Just kept writing and writing and writing.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I just read it, and I'm like, whoa! I didn't even have to think of any of that. Just wrote it, you know.
That's kind of the idea of writing, is that, or the good part of it, I find, is you can just kind of put your thoughts out there onto paper and then go back through and edit so that you've got, like, what you've got makes sense, right? And otherwise it's just one big run-on sentence or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it's good that they get you to do that. Mm-hmm. And do you have to do speeches like in grade 6 or something?
From grade 5 to grade 7, you have to write a speech. I feel like it comes easy if I just don't really think about it. But yeah, sometimes.
And do you think that that's something that is good for in a future career where you might have to do presentations to bosses and things like that?
Yes, because it depends if you want to become a teacher, you're going to have to talk in front of the class a lot. And probably like most careers, you're going to have to at least be able to speak in front of people openly and not be able to not chicken out and not like get scared, you know? I know it's hard for people to do that. Mm-hmm. But then there is some professions where you don't have to do that, like working from home or and such like that. But yeah, I'd say probably a skill that you'd like to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we had to do in grade 7 was one at a time. You go stand in front of the class and the teacher would give you a topic and you would have to do like 2 minutes, and he'd say the topic, go, and you'd have to just come up with something about that topic off the top of your head right now. And I felt like that was good practice too for learning how to speak in front of a group and how to spontaneously make a speech about maybe something you didn't know that much about. Yeah, I felt that was really good for, later. Then I wasn't so much afraid of speaking in front of the school or whatever,
Yeah.
and speaking to superior people or whatnot. And it was good practice. Do you feel like at school that your teachers respect you?
I'd say so. I
Yeah.
mean, there has been like some teachers where like I've been like I don't understand this or something, and they've just been like, you got to know that. Like you
Oh.
you have to know what that is. And I'm just kind of like, but I don't. Like I don't know what that is. And they're just like, well, I can't help you right now, so you can go figure it out, kind of like that thing. Like one of my teachers has done that to me where I've been like, I don't understand this, and like you should know this. Like they got mad at me for something that I didn't know.
Oh,
Which
that is disrespect.
yeah.
The first time I volunteered in the elementary school here was with one of my stepson's class, and it was kindergarten, and they were doing the weather, and the teacher picked up the pointer stick, and I'm like, hit the dirt, because to me a pointer stick is a weapon. And so I'm like trying to get out of the way. Well, he just I'm like, what? It's for pointing at stuff? Wow, I'd never seen it used like that before, ever. It was kind of a different time for teachers too, because they were still in that era where they could do whatever they wanted. If they wanted to hit you or beat you with a yardstick or a pointer stick, they could do that, and there was nothing you could do about it. So that's another difference between like my generation and yours, is that you guys are treated more with respect from what I've seen. And so, we were supposed to respect our teachers, but it was hard when they didn't respect us. And so I've had to just learn to um, be me, do what I do, and enjoy my life for myself. So after a while, I thought, like I learned how to just let myself be who I was. And I learned a lot from that. And I still follow that. I think really I'm too old to do what other people think I should do. I don't know how much longer I'll have in my life, and I don't want to spend it living my life for other people. I want to spend it living my life for me. So do you have advice from your point of view?
That's very good piece of advice that you have. Yeah. Probably just like respect. Like just respect in
Yeah.
general. Like you gotta respect people's boundaries and respect that you might want to do something and they say no. You gotta respect that. Then you gotta respect that they might not want to do something, or they might not want you to touch that. Just gotta respect people's boundaries. I think that's just the best piece of advice that I'd have. If that makes sense, what I'm trying to say.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been
Welcome.
great. The whole
Yeah.
purpose of this show is to get two individuals in a room who normally don't have this kind of conversation. And I hope we achieve that today.
Yeah, I think so. It was really nice to talk with you.
Yeah, it's been very nice talking with you.
Okay. What was a common phrase or slang you used when you were younger?
Well, we never said hello. And in Nottingham, it was always, hey up, hey up, which is hello, just
Yeah.
hey up. A lot of languages had idioms, and you spoke in different kinds of words that only the people that lived in your own area knew.
Yeah.
You could move a few miles, and the speeches changed immensely. All the accents we had to put up with.
Very cool.
Our second interview is between Aileen and Maddie.
My name is Aileen Fabris, born in 1936.
I'm Maddie. I was born in 2012.
I was born in Nottingham, home of Robin Hood.
I grew up in East Bay.
Aileen is going to talk to Maddie about what it meant to be a working woman in the post-war period and her experiences with the famous cartoon Rosie the Riveter.
How much did you get paid per hour for your first job?
My first job, oh, heavens. I worked for the co-op on a Saturday when I was 14 years old.
Cool.
And I would get from 8:30 in the morning until 5:30 at night, I would get 14 shillings, which would be about $2.
That's crazy.
Yes. but it's more, we didn't have pocket money in those days
Yeah.
because most mums couldn't afford it.
Was the $2 like for the whole day?
Yes. And you had to take your own lunch with you. And because I was in one part of Nottingham and I had to get a bus to go to the co-op in another part of Nottingham, I had to pay my own bus fare there and back.
Oh my gosh. Minimum wage is like $18 now per hour.
Well, that doesn't seem very much to me.
Yeah.
Can you, just expand on that a little bit? Can you tell us how you found the job? What's the story behind finding the job?
Because it was a girls' school and the teachers would look after the girls. The school leaving age was 14 when I went to school. And the school I went to, the Guildford School in Nottingham, was chosen as one of the schools to make the school leaving age 15. So we all knew we didn't have to go to Woolworths and work in Woolworths and the co-op. And so I started shorthand and typing. But I always, in my heart of hearts, wanted to be a nurse. But the shorthand and typing became quite useful to me. And it was to help women get jobs other than doing housework for their husbands.
Cool.
So the war, the Second World War for us as students, changed the world that we grew up in. So what do you hope to be when you leave school?
I really want to be an architect. And yeah, I really want to be an architect when I'm older. Yeah.
So what do you do in school that aids you towards the profession that you want to have when you leave school?
I'm not sure, but probably in high school there will be some like courses that I can take that will like prepare me for that and stuff. Yeah. I also kind of want to be an interior designer if I don't get to be an architect. So yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
My father was hoping that I would become a shorthand typist in a local bank. And I said, well, I've telephoned the eye infirmary at my principal's suggestion, and I'm starting nursing there next week. You can't do that dirty job. And I said, nursing is not dirty.
Yeah. Cool.
So
I love this because you're really hitting at the and I'm grasping for words a little bit here, but the change in feminine over the later 20th century.
Oh, heavens, yes.
Do you know, and this is an American illustration, but do you know, Maddie, Rosie the Riveter? Have you ever seen this cartoon?
I think so, maybe.
Are you familiar with what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
maybe I explained to Maddie what that cartoon meant for women at the time.
It meant we could earn money to do the things that we wanted, because usually we had to speak to our husbands. You know, I can't manage with this stove anymore. I didn't have a washing machine for years. And having 3 children and you're washing all the clothes by hand, I felt I was an 18th century person. I want a washing machine. No, he wanted to take more classes so he could become a better teacher and go to university. My needs demand more from me than your needs demand from you. So it was very, very difficult sometimes as a woman to stand up and say, this is what I want to do. So I think thanks to the Second World War, in many ways, we did have to learn to do things for ourselves.
Yeah.
My name is June Seymour. I was born in 1934.
June was born in the UK during World War II, and she describes moving to Canada and starting a whole new life in this country. Let's have a listen.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
And
Fine, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. And you too.
Yeah. What were your teenage years like after the war?
I left school at 15 and went to work in an office worked there for a year and a half, and left and went to work for somewhere else. And then I went to an insurance company in London, and I stayed there over 6 years.
What was your career like after you left the insurance brokers?
I came to Canada, and I was here a few months working for the same company, and then I joined the airline, which was Trans-Canada Airlines, as a flight attendant.
And you did that for how long?
3.5 years, because I got married. In those days, when you got married, you had to leave.
Yeah.
You had to be single.
Yeah.
Was that something you agreed with at the time, June? Or
Yes, I agreed with it. Yeah, there's nothing I could do because that was the rule in Trans-Canada Airlines.
Yeah. So you had to be unmarried to work as a flight attendant, or just in the airline in general?
I think most of the airlines were for single girls, single women.
Yeah. And what about pilots? Were they allowed to be married, or did they also?
Oh, they
have to
could be
single?
married, yeah.
So that's a very, you could probably say like bit of a sexist.
Yes,
What's the term? Segregation of
Yes.
employment.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But they did change the rules later on after they changed the name, because they changed from Trans-Canada Airlines to Air Canada,
Yeah.
1964. So then they changed the rules.
Yeah.
And later on, they could be married, they could be pregnant, and so on.
Yeah. Because they have to like make the opportunities as equal, because
Yes.
it just makes the whole operation go smoother when the entirety of the staff can be in agreement of what each other can and can't do.
We didn't really have a union until later on. We did
Yeah.
have a union because one time we went on strike, but it didn't last, because
Yeah.
at that time,
People needed to travel.
that's right.
is it true that there was like not only like gender requirements, but height requirements, weight requirements?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the
Oh, yes.
criteria of being? And sorry, what was the job title again? It
Flight
was
attendant.
Flight attendant.
Well,
of
they
course,
called it
pardon.
stewardess in
Mhm.
those days.
Right.
Yep. The manual was that thick for the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah.
You couldn't wear certain clothes. You had to wear the uniform. You had to have a certain type of ring if you got engaged. You had to have your hair short. You had to wear certain color nail polish. You had to wear stockings with a seam down the back. You had to wear a girdle. You had to wear a full slip. These are all the do's. And then the don't is that thick.
Yeah.
But nowadays they can do anything, really.
Can you share maybe a little bit about your onboarding processes? Was there any, again, you don't need to get into specifics, but you know, what was your training like? And do you think that June can relate with some of that if it's more lax nowadays?
Yeah, it's definitely more relaxed in terms of in terms of requirements. Like my first job, I was an ice cream scooper. They just told me not to wear any profanity or any logos in particular. They just told me to wear black, and then I would put an apron on and then scoop ice cream for like 8 hours.
Oh.
My second job, I worked at a fast food place. They actually gave me a proper uniform and a name tag, so I would wear that for my shifts. And now currently I'm employed at a grocery store. It's more of a formal, like dress requirements, not too formal, but you know, polo shirts, like black proper pants is the uniform, but you can also go a little overboard if you want full, like neck collar and tie. So I work there now for the last 4 to 5 months, and it's been great. It's going great. I'm getting a lot of experience working there. It does feel very welcoming as like a equal workplace.
You have a good personality for it.
Yeah. I love being able to help out the customers when they need questions and feel appreciated.
Good.
What is your impression of how young people are now?
Well, that's a good question. I think they're really quite smart and really looking at this new focus of the new world we're going to be facing here. I think it's going to be a huge change for you guys as far as the way the world is changing with the AI and all the new technology. And I think young people are on the leading edge of that because you've been brought up with it. You've been brought up with smartphones and the internet, and now with artificial intelligence coming, there's a huge change coming, and you're going to be better adapted for it than certainly my age group. And I'm actually giving talks right now at Berwick about the 4 big technologies that are coming and changing, are going to change the world dramatically. And we're not talking in a long period of time. We're talking within just a few years. So it's pretty amazing. I think you're going to live through a marvelous, wonderful time.
Last but certainly not least is our interview between Les and Marina.
My name is Les. I was born in 1945.
My name is Marina. I was born in 2010.
Marina is going to be talking about her experiences with online classes, and Les is going to talk about his experiences going back to school later in life. Let's have a listen.
Well, you were asking me about where I went to school, so I was wondering where you went to school and if it was in this area.
Yeah, I went to school in Vancouver, right downtown in what they call the West End, but it was right down by Stanley Park, English Bay. And we were in an old rooming house there. My parents bought a 3-story house, and we had 10 suites in there. Each bedroom was made into a little suite, and there was a person who lived in those, and my mother collected rent from those. My dad was an artist, and he actually painted across Canada at one time, and was able to make his living doing that. But later, there wasn't enough money in that, so they really made their money off the rooming house. And so we never had a lot of money, but it was a good life. Went to school in the West End, and then later I went to Vancouver Technical School and ended up taking machine shop and automotive. And I ended up finding that wasn't my career. I tried machine shop for a short period of time and found, wow, a dark, dingy place to live in where you're working with material on a lathe was pretty boring and not very nice. So I joined the Forest Service. I was lucky enough to come out of high school, and they were taking on people, and I joined them, and I spent 35 years with them. So I had a great career there.
I have been taking an online class. It's just, it's science and French, grade 10 over the summer. It's really nice that I have the option to do this, because this school isn't running programs. My school isn't running summer programs.
Right.
And even if it did, you'd have to pay for them. But I don't have to pay for it this way. I'm actually doing it out of a school district all the way up in North Vancouver. But I still live here in Parksville.
Oh, good.
And so I just think that's really cool that I get the opportunity to do something that I would otherwise not be able to do. And even if I had to do it, I'd have to pay for it.
Right.
But now I have the opportunity to do it for free.
Yeah.
It's like a course that isn't offered at my school, and I can just take it online.
Yeah. That is the way things have changed dramatically. It is amazing when you think about it. When I was in my 40s, I went through forestry and took sort of the basic training through forestry. But then all of a sudden they needed a bunch of foresters, which was university level. And so they came to a bunch of us and said, do you want to take the university course online to become a forester? And the group that was asked to do this said, yes, we'll do it. Go ahead. And so we did. And we had to go to a training school for 2 weeks at a time. They had a little bunkhouse situation with a kitchen and everything where we all got fed. But we got a course done in 2 weeks, a university course, and then wrote the exam at the end of it. So it was like a crash course and all these things. And I had to take all my basic, I only had general before in high school. So I had to go back and do all those courses by correspondence. So I would have to do all the work at home and then again submit my projects and also write the exam at the end of that. And when you're in your 40s, that's not the easiest to do because you have 2 little children at home and you're trying to keep life together. And, but I made it. So it was good. Yes. So I think the opportunity for you is even greater because you have all these things you can do online and you can do it at your own pace and you can put into it the things that you want to put into it.
There's also the opportunity because at my school, we only have a limited number of classes because we have
Yeah.
a limited number of teachers. And so all the programs I wanted to take next year, I don't get priority in them because I'm a grade 10 who'd be
Oh,
taking
right.
grade 11 classes. So
Yep.
I don't get priority for them. And so the only one that would be open is the one I was like, I'll take any science but this one.
Yeah.
And that's the only one that isn't full. So I could just ask for a free period in that block and take it online.
Yes.
And I've also recently taken Food Safe online, which makes it so I'm able to work with food safely, which
Yep.
it's really good to have that accessible online for anyone.
I really believe in that. I think education is going to go that way. I think all the students, they're all at different levels and they learn faster or some don't learn as fast. But if you can do it online and it can tutor you online, then you go at your pace and it's so much better that way.
I still believe that we need in-person spaces for learning. Like you can't stay at home. You're
No.
not going to do anything if you're at home.
No. You need to have that motivation. That was what I had to do when I did mine. You almost say, why am I doing this? But when you get to it, you realize you have to do it, get it done. But when you're a student or a younger person, you don't have that same motivation. So you need to have you haven't grown up yet to realize you have to have discipline and you have to realize you have to set time aside and do these things. And you end up in the end going and playing video games or doing something else. So you do need to have structure. I understand that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. A couple things that stand out that affected me was COVID, definitely.
Yes.
I was one of those few children who remained in school because I did not want to be stuck at home the entire time. As I
Okay.
said, those defined spaces are very important for me. I feel the advantage of having physical spaces is like you can kind of separate like this space is home, this is where you can do what you want, this is where you can talk to your friends, but this place is school and that's where you have to focus and
Right.
get stuff done. It also means you can't, if you're sitting at home, there's no specific time where you have to do it. But if there's a specific time you have to be at school, then there's a specific time you have to do it, set period of time you have to do it for.
Yes.
It's definitely important considering that
Yep.
most people my age have, including me, procrastinated a lot.
Not just at your age. It was the same for me when I was doing my courses. I'd procrastinate. And then eventually they were coming due and I had to do 3 of them at one time to catch them up. And I spent my nights and evenings down. I just go back down every evening and do 2 hours in this course, 2 hours in this course, and 2 hours in that course. And you do get through it, but man, you've created a monster for yourself by jamming it all into that period. But that's human nature. That's our thing. We'll put off for tomorrow whatever we can. And so I agree with you. You need to have some structure to force you into those periods that you're going to do this work. And you've got to have that. Otherwise, most people will put it off. They just won't be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Things I went through in school too, like a lot of bullying went on because of my weight and everything and being tall. I guess they figured here's a good guy to pick on. It looks good for us. And I wasn't willing to fight back. And so I wasn't very, very good there. So, but no, these are not nice things people do to other people. And bullying is one of the worst things. You can see it in school and other places. It's really can injure people mentally and physically. Yeah.
Not nice.
Yeah.
Especially coming from someone who is in high school at the moment. there's a lot of people who are like, oh, it's gotten better. And it definitely has, but there are still some stuff that has been carried over, especially from my parents' childhood.
Yeah. I don't think you're ever going to escape it. It's something you have to learn to deal with. And as you get older, you can realize that just avoid those people. You know, don't be around them if they're going to be like that, or they're going to speak like that about other people. You just don't associate with them. And but I think bullying's been going on since I was young, and it hasn't stopped. It's always the same. Somebody always wants to think they're better, or they want to form their own little group of people. I think that's true, that you have to, there is a point where you have to finally say that I've had enough. I'm not going to do it. You might end up getting a broken nose yourself to do it, but
Mine was not
but
from a
sometimes
fight.
you hold back. Yeah. Other than those advice and being honest and truthful and respect for everybody around you, I think those are the big words that we have to get back into our human nature. And we're not the best at doing those things, but we have to get it back in. And decency is another one. We get too far out on the whatever the word is, but it's indecency. Yeah.
Be the bigger person. Like, don't treat others, like, it's kind of like treat others how you want to be treated, but be the bigger person.
Right.
Like, don't go down to their level, especially if they're bullying you, they're being violent.
You've got it. That's the correct answer for sure. You just be the bigger person and just let it go and recognize that you've done the right thing. That's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Been wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Am I able to get a quick handshake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, really nice meeting
Really
you.
nice.
Thanks so much for watching. School is out. We are done with that topic and moving on to technology. We now live in the technological age, so students today know a lot about smartphones and ChatGPT. But what was technology like back in the day? Well, stay tuned to find out next time on Branches Between Generations.